History Makers, the show that brings you top artists, top musicians, top personalities across Africa. And today I'm with a great lady, a lady who has given you the biggest hit across Africa, the first award winner for Kenyan music, MTV award winning, Amani Cecilia Wairimo, the great lady. And now this is born again.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I've
been well. Yes, I thank God.
20 years.
20 years?
I've not seen you for a long time.
No, it's not been 20 though. Maybe 10? 10, 15.
You?
Yes.
The last time I saw you is 2009 after you won the
Mama. I saw you several times after that. I did.
Not in a setting. Maybe personal.
Yes, personal, yeah. Not in a setting, that's
true. So have you been? Where have you been?
I've been well.
That's the first question.
I thank God.
Yes.
Yes, I've been serving God and enjoying it, and it's been a great journey.
Where are you serving God? When did you start serving God? Before we get into music.
To get into music. Yes. I serve with Satan Church Online, and basically it's an online ministry where we bring church online. Basically understanding the fact that sometimes people are not able to attend church on the physical, they go to the sanctuary on Sunday. So you bring church to them through online. They can go on YouTube, they can click on messages. Yeah. So that's what it's all about, and that's where I've been serving, and I enjoy it.
For how long?
I think I started at about 2018 or 2019.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's been close to 4 years. Yeah.
That's why you disappeared from the scene completely.
But I was still in the scene before then. Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to music?
Music has always been there. It will always be there. Just that it took a different shift for me. I think people had gotten used to seeing like the Amani on stage, me pushing the brand and everything, which was, you know, it was meant to be like that because that was my profession and that is what I did on a daily basis. But of course, after I got born again, being a secular artist ceased being my profession. So of course, there was no way you could see Amani in the same intensity. Yeah, because a shift had happened.
The energy, the vibrancy, the craziness just went.
Craziness? Was it crazy? I don't know.
No, on stage, I mean.
That's true.
On stage, not outside. You see, when you get into act of music on stage, you're a different person.
You're a different person.
Yes.
I think, like I said, that was the professional side of everything, of the music and everything, and it comes with a lot of things. After you get born again, there's a shift and everything, and it switches to being a full-time profession to now ministry. You're basically a gospel music minister. You're ministering the word of God. So you approach it differently from when you did with secular music. Yeah. And so I'm still learning that.
Any gospel music you've done recently?
Yes, I have. Yes. I've released 3 songs so far. The first song, I think I released in 2017 or 2018. I followed up with another one around 2019, it's about 4 years ago, and another one. So 3 songs so far. Yeah.
So if you look at your ministry career, let's start about the ministry career.
It's not a career, it's just ministry.
It's just ministry.
Yes, that's what it is.
I'll go back to the music career, the secular part.
Yes.
And how you joined music.
Yes.
The transformation.
Yes.
So do you see, was it difficult for you to transform into your act or your stage and performances and right now away from secular music into gospel?
It takes time.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says that we are transformed through the word.
Yes.
When you get born again, it's your spirit that accepts Jesus.
Yes.
However, your soul goes through a process. It goes through a transformation, and that takes time. So naturally, people expect a switch to happen
very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
But the truth is that it's a process. And the best thing to do is to embrace the process. And it happens differently for very many people. Some people, the process can take a year, others 2 years. So you just ask God to lead you through this process of transformation, and you embrace it. Yeah.
So you've been, for 4 years, you've been doing ministry.
Yes.
What happened that made you decide that I'm done with this life,
Yeah.
and I want to serve God?
Yeah.
What that turning point, where was it?
I think most people expect that there was a traumatic experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That something traumatic, something life-changing must have happened. But more often than not, it's not a traumatic experience, but more of like wanting more of a spiritual connection between you and your maker and Jesus. Just having that spiritual connection, I really wanted more of it. I just felt like I was so disconnected from it that I wanted more of it. And I worked my way back to that, but there wasn't really like a traumatic experience, like I ended up sick or hospital in bed, or there was this situation that happened. No, I just really wanted to have this connection with God, that spiritual connection with God. And I felt like I had lost it over time, because I actually started off as a gospel artist, and with time that just, it went away, and I felt like I'd sort of lost it, and I wanted to get back to that space.
Heaven and earth bow down before him. Heaven and earth declare his glory. Heaven and earth, heaven and earth, heaven and earth, heaven. Mungu wangu ni mkuu, bigger than all my problems, bigger than all my fears, bigger than everything. My God is bigger, bigger than all my troubles, bigger than all my fears, bigger than everything. Mungu wangu ni mkuu.
You actually started as a gospel artist.
Yes.
And your parents were not very happy when you shifted. Remember?
Yes, they were not.
They were not.
At all.
How did that happen? Like, you were always you're from Thika
Yes,
originally,
I am.
and
Yes.
your family is this Christian family. Your mother, your dad.
Yes.
Then you wake up and you're Ninanoki with Nameless. What did the family say?
Initially,
1999. Was it 1999 that one? Ninanoki.
no, Nanuki was 2003.
And 3.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, this girl who's been singing in church, boom, Ninanoki,
Yes.
Nameless, the biggest song in the country.
Yeah.
How did they react?
Obviously, as parents, they were not very happy, because that's not the path they would have wished for me to take.
Yes.
They would have preferred if I was a gospel artist.
Yes.
But by the time the song Nanuki was being released and was doing very well on the airwaves, I was on my last year in campus. And by that time, I think not behind the scene, the tug of war had been going on for so long. They were like,
Wachana nae.
wachana sasa.
Ameenda huyu.
The tug of war had been going on for a while behind the scenes. Before now, Noki Blue and everything.
Yeah.
There was that pushing back. My mom going like, "You'd better do gospel. You'd better do gospel." And of course, I'm thinking, maybe not. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
did you do an album, a song, a gospel album, a song before that?
Yes. My first song actually that I recorded at Ogopa was a gospel song.
What was it? I never heard it.
Those who know my songs know the song.
I know your song. All
True
of them.
diehards of
I'm
Amani.
a true diehard. Najua. Niambie ni gani. Me, I didn't hear that. Noki came and...
Seriously, Nanuki was not even it was like my third song, to be honest. No, actually not third. We're probably looking at fifth there. Yeah, there's a lot that happened before Nanuki. So the first song I did was a gospel song with Ogopa, because when I went to them, I didn't know how to write love songs. Me, the only songs I knew how to write were gospel. Praise Jesus. Hizo vitu tulikuwa najua. So when they told me to write a love song, I'm like, they're like, do you have a boyfriend? I'm like, I'm we
You're
saying?
from campus.
I'm in campus then, and I'm
Yes.
like, so we're writing about this boy, yeah. So what are we saying about him? The way you like him? I'm like, I didn't have the words, I didn't
Yes.
have the tact, nothing.
Yes.
So that took time. That's
Yes.
actually something I struggled with that people don't know for very many years. I was so used to writing gospel songs and songs for God, I struggled so much to write
write a-
secular songs.
Yes.
So, and if you even sit with Ogopa, they'll tell you, yeah, there's that one she struggled to express her, yes, that whole situation. Yeah.
So you did 3 songs and then you did,
Now Nina Noki came.
Nina Noki came.
Yes. The
So-
first song, the first line was,
how did it go?
I believe in all of me and
remember
all
it.
of him. Yeah.
Yes.
That was
And then
the
you
first
had
song.
the second song, which is which one?
The second song, I did a series of about 3 songs that were dance and house related. I loved dance and house music. So those were songs I experimented with. But they still got released when I think Ogopa 1 and Ogopa 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after Ninanoki, then at the Amani, the
Yes.
Vivacious Amani now came on board.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
What was the journey like?
The journey was interesting.
Yes.
I think by the time I was doing Nanoki, like I said, I had released a couple of songs and everything. So I was kind of hungry. I was hungry for something. And
Yes.
when Lucas told me to do the collaboration with Nameless,
Yes.
I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. I was more than happy.
Yes.
And I met Nameless. Funny enough, I didn't, like, it's so interesting that sometimes my ears can hear a hit song and then sometimes they can't. So it's a 50-50 sort of situation. And when I remember I had Nanoki, I was like, okay, it's a nice song.
Yes.
I didn't think it was going to be that huge. Like, I had no clue. But I hoped that it would push my career forward. So for me, my expectations were like, okay.
So how did you guys meet then? The studio?
Yeah, we didn't meet. I can't remember the first meeting, whether it was in a studio. The meeting I remember was when we met at Nameless's hostel at Mamlaka.
Mamlaka, yes.
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 So he was like, oh, I want to teach you the song and everything, so come to Mamlaka. I was in USIU and I used to stay at the YWCA.
Yes.
So it was just a walk.
Across, yeah.
I just walked down and went to Mamlaka and he sang the song and I was like, okay, it's a nice song. But like I said, I didn't think it would be that huge, but it turned out to be huge.
It turned out to be big. And,
Yes.
And then after that is when now you said you collaborated also with Jashinsky.
Yes.
You did your biggest song.
Yes.
So how that growth, how was it like when now you were getting this big music?
Yes. It wasn't as most people paint it to be very
Easy.
linear
Yeah.
and easy. It
Yes.
wasn't. Like I said before, I got to do the collaboration with Nameless. It took a bit of time. I had done like 2 or 3 house trance sort of songs
Yes.
that were featured in Ogopa 1 and Ogopa 2.
Yes.
So after I did Nanoki, now I learnt the hard way that you do not want a big song at the beginning of your career.
Because
That big.
Yes.
Because I didn't think it would be that big.
Yes.
When I was going to meet Nameless, I expected that it would be a song that would be like a stepping stone and
Yes.
then I build from there.
Yes.
So it caught me totally unawares.
Yes.
So here I was and there was this huge song and it's Nameless's song.
Yes.
And I'm like, what next after this?
Yes.
So there's this expectation
From the fans,
from the fans,
from the studio.
from the studio,
Yes.
like what next?
Yeah.
So there was pressure from the studio. There was pressure from the fans.
Yes.
But I think I was young and energetic, so I was like, sawa. So we go back. Kuje, tuende studio, tuandike. And I think I went through a moment again of struggling around then to find the Amani sound.
Yes.
Because you see, I'd started off with my first gospel song.
Yes.
Then I played around with dance and trance and
Yes.
stuff. So we worked together with Lucas and Francis at Ogopa to really find that Amani sound. And it wasn't easy. It was not easy at all.
So how did you end up with your sound?
just writing and writing, and I can't take credit for that. I'd say Luke has played a very big part in basically crafting what that particular sound would be like. Yes, I wrote the song, but don't forget there were also the beats and everything.
Yes,
so I think he played a part in that and just sort of carving that direction. Yeah.
So you're this gospel girl from the church. You're doing gospel, now these guys are pushing you into romantic scene, which you're wondering, hey, you'll be late like this.
Yeah.
So how did you manage now to start writing? Of course, you did Bad Boy with Nyashinsky. And even in Anoki, the verses, did you write yourself or?
No. Like, that was like, I didn't write. So I got this amazing song where I never had to write. And he did so well.
Yes.
And people are expecting a follow-up song from me.
Yes.
Meanwhile, behind the scenes, I'm struggling and thinking, how do I write about this person that I like?
Yes.
Me, I've come from writing about God.
God, yes.
So yeah, that was a struggle. So it wasn't that, I think people think that it was that easy, but it wasn't that easy for me. And even during that period, before we finally landed on Bad Boy and everything, I did do a few songs that didn't do very well. There were a few disappointments. And to an extent that when you come from a song that's so huge like Nanoki, and the follow-up song is not quite there, then you start realizing, even you as an artist, hiya, I need to work
hard.
Really hard.
Yes.
And there's even a point where I almost gave up because I graduated from school, from campus, USIU, and actually worked. I was in the workforce. Like,
where were you working, Amani?
My first job was with a company called My Jobs Eye.
Yes.
A really nice company. I remember, my boss was actually Isis Nyongo.
Yes,
so it was an online recruitment company.
Yes.
I was a marketing executive. And
then,
nienda nikapata kazi.
Ukasema hii maisha.
This is getting
Wacha
hard.
nisome degree.
Wacha nimalize. So I finished the degree. I graduated. I was still performing around that time. But of course, because you don't have a follow-up song, it's dwindling, it's going down, and you can see it. And then I was very hungry. I really wanted something. So I worked at My Jobs Eye. After that, I went on to work at Capital. Then after Capital, there was, I think, like a 2-year gap in between then. I worked at Scaned. And at Scaned is when I think it finally came together. Yeah.
That's when you went back to studio completely now.
Yes, that's when back.
So you when Bad Boy and the other song with that gentleman who did with you on a song, it's called Patoni.
Yeah. So Patoni actually, if I'm not wrong, did it come before? I think I've even forgotten the chronological order of these songs. But the song "Talk to You" came with that was a Go for 2.
That's a Go for 2, yes.
Yes, and I remember that even that one, that was Pato's song. So I knew Patrick from campus, and like I said, I needed a song, and I'd not mastered this whole thing of writing love songs and everything. And I thought, oh my God, he has a really nice song and everything. So I went, I introduced him to Lucas, and I was like, this guy, his song is really nice. He asked me, how about you, your part? I was like, don't worry, I'll write mine. So, Pato helped me write. I translated it into Swahili.
You wrote it in English, of course.
Yes, I translated it into Swahili. It was Patrick who helped me.
Yes.
So there was the Swahili part. So again, I got away with not writing a full song. So here's another song. Phew, I wrote with it.
And it went massive.
And it went. And again, nobody still knows that, by the way, this girl, hana nyimbo yake peke yake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then that's how Bad Boy came later?
Bad Boy came later after, like I said, I went through this period where there wasn't much of the money going on. It was almost like, it was just going down. At that point, my life was actually going to go 2 ways. I was either going to follow a career in marketing, or I was going to be an artist. It was like a tipping point for me. If I wanted to follow a career in marketing, I would have probably continued. You know, we stuck at Scanad and seeing where that would have led to.
So then Bad Boy, how did you work with Nyashinsky? Did you write or?
That particular song I wrote, but I was again struggling with the chorus.
Yes.
I hadn't gotten the chorus right, and the chorus is everything.
Yes.
Like the chorus has to be
sing along.
That's what they sing along to.
Yes.
It's got to be that catchy tune.
Yes, yes.
So every time I wrote a chorus, I take it over to my producer Lucas, and he's like, "No, that's not the one. No, that's not the one." I'd reached a point I was quite frustrated. So there was this Saturday. I remember very well. We were in the studio, and he was finishing up on the Kleptomaniacs album. His partner Francis was there, and he asked me, he's like, "What are you doing?" So I just told him, like, "Hey, we have not finished the chorus for that song," and I was just honest. I was like, "I'm struggling with it." Then he was like, "Oh, okay, let me hear it." So I think he went in and he heard it and he came out and he was like, "What do you have?" I sang what I had and he was like, "No, we're not quite there." And I know it was Lucas who suggested that I should have Nyashinsky on the song, and he was there. I'll go to a studio. I was like, "Why don't you have Nyashinsky on the song?" And Nyashinsky was like, "Yeah, sawa." Nyashinsky is good at what he does. He's really good, because I remember him like sitting in the studio and writing his lyrics right there and then, going in, recording, and like I said, we were struggling with a chorus. So Francis asked Nyash, was it Lucas? Yeah, I can't remember who, between the both. Like, what do you think? And everything. And the first words that came out of Nyashinsky's mouth was, "Najua naipenda, naitaka pia, nizate una design unaiangalia."
Yes.
And Lucas was like, respond to him. And that was the chorus.
And there's
that was it.
It was super.
It turned out pretty
Super,
okay.
super.
Yeah.
And the video was actually very good too.
Thank you.
I loved it. So when you won MTV Mamas, the first award we had, so we are happy. Africa, Kenya.
I wasn't actually the first person. It was Wahoo.
It was Wahoo?
Yes.
Then, you won 2009.
Yes, I did.
Wahoo won 2008 for Sweet Love.
Yes.
And then you won 2009.
Yes.
Yes, correction. Noted.
Yeah.
So how did you feel how did you think that your song will be noticed across Africa?
I had been working towards it for so many years.
Yes.
It had been almost a decade of grinding, and it wasn't easy. I had my eye on the price. I knew exactly what I wanted and what we're crafting the brand to be.
Yes.
And my biggest fear was to miss that moment.
Yes.
So towards the awards, I was just nervous. I was just nervous. I was a nervous wreck. I tried my best to just concentrate on the performance, and I even booked a performance like the next day. Like Mama's happened on a Saturday. I had a performance on Sunday, like just to make sure that my mind is off it, because I knew it was a determining.
When you won, how did you feel when your name Amani was being?
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
What did you say on stage that day? Do you remember?
I remember. I just gave glory to God. I thanked the people behind the journey, because it's a team. A lot of people look at the artist and they're like, it's Amani. But let me tell you, there's a whole lot of people behind you who are working towards that. And there's a lot at stake, because these people are putting their work, they've put in their hours. So it's important, that you do give credit to the team, because you are like the face of all the hard work.
The team is there, your folks were there, everyone.
Yes.
So after the awards, you did a lot of music with Nigerians. You went collabos, did you?
I think I only did the 1-8 project that had Two-Face in it.
Yes.
After that, I did the song with Radio and Weasel.